Good morning, everyone. This is Joe Mead. I'm a senior account exec here at Knack Systems, and I have with me today my friend, my colleague, the Chief Operating Officer at Knack Systems, Mr. Sandeep Arora.
Good morning, everyone. Hey,
and
Joe.
Before we start, I wanted to give a brief introduction, a little background on Knack Systems and what we do. We are a niche consulting organization, and we provide digital transformation services in the area of sales, service, marketing, and commerce. We are a gold partner and a recognized SAP expert. And our focus from a solution standpoint is the Hybris Customer Engagement and Commerce Suite. And that's comprised of Hybris Commerce, Hybris Marketing, and Hybris Cloud for Customer, which is the Sales Cloud and the Service Cloud. We have a very strong background and foundation in SAP ERP. We're headquarters right here in beautiful New Jersey, and we have about 300 consultants globally. So today, Sandeep and I are looking to discuss about how businesses can engage with their customers on their online buying journey. We're going to bust some myths. We're going to share some best practices, and we want to walk you through the process involved in wrapping up an SAP Hybris Commerce Platform implementation in just about 90 days. 90 days, Sandeep, is that a typo?
No, people talk about 0 to something in 60 seconds, 0 to 16, 2 to 3 seconds, but no, it's not a myth at all. It's 0 to Hybris in 90 days, and I think that's what we want to take our viewers, our audience today, as to how that can be done and how it's been done with many of the customers that we're working with. So let's take them on this ride today.
Awesome. You're going to want to listen to this. But first, Sandeep, look what I got last night. Headphones I talked to you about.
Okay.
A little bit about my shopping experience. So I had received a promotional email with a discount for this particular headphones. So I was excited to go online and search for the headphones and get them into my stereo system. Kind of a brief overview. I first started, and that was probably the first problem that I had, was that the mobile site was very frustrating. But I kept going, even though the navigation was very painful, it was very frustrating, but I wanted these headphones. I navigated through the site, and I hit on some filters. I eventually got to the headphones, and I'm just about ready to hit the put in my cart, click to buy button when I was notified that the headphones were no longer in stock. So you know what I did at that point? I went to a completely different site and bought the headphones. So you can see that my experience with this non-user-friendly site and the lack of attention to the fact that these items weren't even in stock was very frustrating. And it reminded me that businesses' first interest is the customer's experience. So how do you feel that experience in the online world affects customer behavior?
Well, I can feel your pain, Joe. I'm sure you wanted to listen to your Henry Belafonte and you wanted to have those headphones and how much you wanted it. And I think this is what we are talking about as to how organizations need to relate to their customers. So most of the customers today do not think of this whole process of engaging with the customer as a different customer journey as well as an organization journey. So this example that you just have given me, to me, is an example of how customers are thinking about an organization view of how you are going through the process. If I put it simply, it's more of, hey, let's get this person to our website and we'll sure sell him something. And guess what? Like, what you've done is exactly what organizations don't want. They have created a level of distrust. You have got regret at the end of the process, and you have jumped on to another website, which is where you've got the kind of experience that you're looking for. So the key thing over here is organizations today need to look at a journey from a customer perspective, not from an organization perspective, meaning let's look at what exactly you want. How do you go about going through this process? Instead of saying, oh, I need to bring him to the site, then get him attracted to buying something, but I don't care if the product is there or not. So the key message, I guess, from the experience that you have had is organizations should look at creating customer experiences to manage and to provide a high level of customer journey.
Well, Sandeep, you're a trained professional. You make it sound very easy. How should businesses engage with their customers on this customer journey?
Well, there is a science to it, which is number one, let's understand what the customers, and that includes you and me, what is the way that we go out and buy a product today. So number one, unlike the years gone by where we used to just walk to a store, find something, and just buy it and used to go home. Today, we really live in an omni-channel world. What does that mean? I have a choice of going to a mall, going to a store. I have a choice of going to a marketplace on the web. I have a choice to go to the brand, the end company's store and buy it over there. So number one is to recognize that we live in an omni-channel world. So that's one thing. Second thing, which is to look at it from a scientific perspective. Let's look at what are the various phases that a customer goes through in their buying journey. And if you look at it broadly, there is the research phase of it, wherein, hey, I'm thinking of a product. Let me go out onto the web and do my research. Then there is the actual buying experience, the buying phase, which is when I've shortlisted my product and have to go at a certain location, whether physical or online, and buy that product. The third thing is I've got my product. I'm enjoying that product. So that's the third phase. And the fourth phase is advocacy. I liked it. I speak to my friends. I post about it. So those are the four phases. So how does an organization engage with their prospective customers across this entire journey? Let's look at each of these phases. So phase number one, research. Where do I normally do my research? Where do you normally do your research? We go to Google. So how can organizations engage with us when we are in Google? So number one, let's organizations focus on this one area called micro content. Let's make sure that when I'm on Google and say if I'm typing for a dishwasher, let Google be the place where I get this content, smart content, not something wherein I have to read through big, large PDFs, but something that's going to give me the information, help me with my research. So that's phase number one. So phase number one is organization need to provide micro content, which helps me as a prospective customer get all the information that I'm looking for at the location where I'm at, which most of the times is Google. Let's go on to the next phase. So I've done my research. Now I'm ready to buy, and your product is the product that I'm going to be interested in. Your product is one of the 3 or 4 products. So I'm at your website. This is the buy phase that I was speaking about. What happens in a buy phase? I want to get to know some more detailed features about this product. I want to be looking at some videos. I want to also see if I can compare 2 or 3 products. And I also want to see the experience of other people. So in the buy phase, what organization need to do is provide content. And this is what is managing the overall journey at the buy phase, is that the customer should be made available some of these guides, some of these abilities to go out and compare products, get some information about when that product is available, And last but not the least, go out and compare these products and get some inputs from communities. Phase number 3, I made that my decision. I bought the product. I've got it in my house. I've got the headphones. You just showed me your Amazon box, which delivered the headphones. So how do I make the experience at this stage of my customer journey a good experience? And how would that happen? Guess what? Number 1, if I am putting this headphones on and it's not working, it's showing some red light, what is the thing that you'd want to do? Be able to go online and be able to find some information to help you. So things like how-to guides, how best to enjoy your music, how to do any kind of a setup, these kind of information, this set of content is what organizations need to make available during this phase of the journey. And last but not the least, here I am, that I've enjoyed my product. Invite you to a community so that you now can share all the good experience that you had with other prospective buyer. Answer any question about the product that you use. You become an active member in the community. And through this whole customer journey that you've spoken about, from research phase to buy, to enjoy, and to advocacy, what is really happening is the organization are engaging with the customer through various kinds of content, through various kinds of interactive tools. And that's what it's about, engaging with the customer in the way that they can give an experience which is very positive, to be able to have a customer for life, and for being able to go out and sell more to this customer, or help this customer sell your product to other prospective customers.
And that's how I get my headphones, right?
And you enjoy your Henry Belafonte.
Hey, that's good insight, Sandy. But you know that a lot of organizations are concerned about building an e-commerce site because they believe building a site and the deployment is complex and expensive. What are your thoughts on that?
Myth. I think one of the things that you're doing today is busting some of these myths. So, as I always say, you can make the experience of drinking a glass of wine complex. So yeah, if someone wants, they can make an experience very complex, but certainly going live with an e-commerce site should not be a complex experience, should not be expensive at all, because we all go back to how things were done in the past, and everything had to be custom built, and everything had to be started from scratch. That's how things used to be very, very complicated. But now, in the world of having e-commerce platform, that's not the way things need to be. I mean, let me ask you this. If you go to a commerce site, what are the kind of things you're looking for over there?
Well, I think it certainly needs to be an appealing, user-friendly site, and cut down
Correct.
on the frustration.
Correct. You sometimes would say, hey, if I've got this product that I'm interested in, let me go out and compare this to other products. Let me also see, hey, the product that I'm buying, is there any kind of promotion going on for that? Is that something of interest to you? Did you go through that process when you were buying your headphone?
I did. The ability to search products, to compare products, to look at the features. I want to know delivery dates, when I can receive the product, all of that type of information. And I want to be able to get confirmations in the mail if I have specific questions.
That is correct. So what you explained to me is what you as a buyer want. Now let's take an organization view. So if an organization wants to have an e-commerce site so that they can provide you these kind of features, in order to be able to do that, if you look at it from the organization perspective, from the feature functionality perspective, what you're talking about gets into 7 or 8 different categories of features. So number one, let's say when you go in, there should be user management, account management. So you can store some information in case you want to go back, or in case you want to be storing some information around, say, a credit card. So feature number one that the organization wants is user management, account management. Number two, they have to go and activate this functionality around shopping cart. Shopping cart, this is where you are actually going over there, looking at the product that you want, see the price, click on the button. So that's feature number two. Feature number three, you want to be able to see, as you said, all the various features of this product. So in e-commerce term, that's having a product catalog, and that's doing content management. Now, the fourth thing is, as you said, you want to know when exactly can you get this product. You want to get this information when the product is shipped out. You also want to be able to see the pricing. So in e-commerce term, that functionality is called order management. From an organization perspective, what I also want to do is be able to present to you the right product. So I want to personalize some of the content. So another feature that you look in an e-commerce site is personalization. That would help me to be able to sell. Now, the other thing is that I know when you're coming and buying a product, I might want to sell you a 3-year warranty on that product. So what are this? This is the opportunity for an organization to do cross-sell or upsell. You know, you might be buying a certain model, but the organization, based on what you're looking to have, they might want you to buy a higher model. So upsell kind of a thing. So these are some of the capabilities that what you need in an e-commerce site. So to your question about, is it expensive to kind of do an e-commerce implementation? No. What we need to do is organizations should go away from thinking that I need a custom built solution to be able to meet my business specific requirement. Yes, your business is unique in a certain way, but when you look at e-commerce, there are certain common features that you need. Some of those is what I just mentioned. What organizations need to do is say that I can use some of the common features from a platform say like Hybris Commerce, in which you can actually configure some of these of the features over there. You don't have to build them from scratch. You prioritize them. You kind of see what all is relevant to you. And if you have a backend ERP system, integrate it to that, and you can have your system up and running in a very short span of time. So the myth that, yes, an e-commerce implementation is expensive, I think that's something that used to happen in the past. Is it complex? Yeah, it used to be complex when everything had to be built from scratch. Now there are well-defined a set of features which can be clubbed together into functionality. All these features and functionalities are available, standard out of the box. All that you need to do as business is look at what you need, prioritize them, make sure, and this is an important piece, don't think that your business is completely unique. Yes, there are some unique features. Spend time on those unique things, but don't go out and creating a system from scratch for all the features and functionality. And that's how you make e-commerce implementation less complex, as well as be delivered in a manageable time.
Well, it's great hearing you touch on those features. Perhaps you could pick out some of the more important ones and go a little bit more into detail.
Sure. So let's look at things that I mentioned earlier. Let's talk about user management. User management ability, and keep in mind when we talk about e-commerce, it applies both to a B2B scenario as well as to a B2C scenario, business to business, business to consumer. A user management would mean different things, but then these are all configurable options. So user management simply means ability to manage things like what's your name, what's your address, what is the kind of preferences that you have, user ID, password. That's one feature that we have. Let's look at the other feature that's around product catalog, content management. So the product catalog is, there is this basic information about my product. In your case, the headphones. but there are additional features that are required when you want to launch an e-commerce site. Those things being, what are the various marketing attributes? Images as it's visible on a phone, images that is visible when you log in through your laptop. You can look at certain other additional capabilities that you might want to highlight, the various color options that are there, various kind of unique features, talking more about the capabilities of the product. So that goes into product catalog. I mean, I've worked with the customers. They have had up to 300 different attributes. So in an e-commerce site, when you want to be able to show these various features, you need to have product catalog. The other thing that I spoke about is content. So when you go to an e-commerce site, you mentioned earlier, you want the site to be looking good. It should be user-friendly. And one way to manage that is by using the content management capability of e-commerce solution. Let's talk about order management. I mean, you need to have the pricing related to that product. You need to be able to do things like when this product can be delivered and what is the cost of shipping. Things like these is all clubbed into one set called order management. So an e-commerce solution should have the capabilities to do order management, or it should have the ability to integrate with a solution like SAP so that you can get all that information from another system. Let's talk about personalization. An important piece of it, and I've heard this from various customers that we work with, that, if we are talking about personalization, then there is this issue of privacy, there is this issue of data being not secure. But in plain simple terms, you don't have to go crazy over having such kind of personalization. You can have minimal basic set of information that you can capture about your customer, their online behavior, and use that information. So having a personalization capability for an e-commerce site, again, is important. And this helps in an organization to present the right set of products to have sales close faster. The other feature that we've spoken about, and this is an important one when it comes to B2C, is having information about credit cards. So, the information about payment gateways, being able to capture some information or link to the credit card that you use for your transaction. So ability to, number one, maintain that information as permitted by law, but importantly, be able to integrate with various payment gateways such that you can do the transaction. That is, one of the important pieces over here. I think other piece over here that is being used in an e-commerce engine has been to go out and provide post-sales support. You've done your buying of the product and you need some more support. When you later come in, you want to see what is the status of my order. If you want to come back and need some support. So that's an additional set of feature that you need in an e-commerce product. But primarily, these are the key 6 to 7 features that forms a core platform.
Great. So I think what our customers and our prospects are hearing is that deployment of an e-commerce site does not need to be complex and expensive. And organizations should, after listening to some of your points, I think follow a few guidelines, like leveraging a Hybris commerce solution and not try to build something out of the box. Maybe in addition to that, remember that key capabilities like shopping cart, user management, product catalog, those kinds of things are important, but also try to prioritize some of the other features that are going to be important perhaps down the road for your organization. And use the accelerators. The accelerators from the storefront, and that allows us to kind of leverage some of the best practices.
Absolutely. You said it rightly.
Yeah. And so within how much time do you think something like this needs to implement this type of solution to really get it running?
Yeah, that's an important piece. It's so yes, we've demystified this piece about e-commerce site implementation need not be complex, and obviously it's not something that organizations should be afraid of. So time is a very important piece. And if you go back a few years ago, someone would have said to start from end, it's probably a 9-month to a 12-month process. Not anymore. Not anymore. And this is where organizations have to say that if you look at structuring your thoughts, structuring your approach, we are talking about asking you to make certain key decisions in terms of what level of, say, user management you need, what level of the product catalog do you want to maintain, what level of personalization you want to do. So if you look at these 6 or 7 key features, and I don't want to take away this whole piece of, but I've got some unique things. Yes, those are important. But if you look at some of the key features required for setting up the foundation of an e-commerce site, then organization today can actually go from 0 to Hybris in 90 days. You don't have to go crazy in spending 12 to 18 months in building up an e-commerce site. I think we're talking of speed over here. And speed is important in multiple ways. You know, what happens, the way the behavior of the consumers is changing, what happens in 12 to 18 months might be completely different for the way things are happening right now. So what we need to think of is, okay, let's build something. Let's have e-commerce site up and running. Let's start engaging our customer. Let's give them a platform. And once they are used to it, once they start building their trust, once they know that here is a place that they can come to and transact, there would be other features that you can deploy later. But to start with, I would say 90 days is a very good time for organization to go out and be up and running with an e-commerce site.
And Sandeep, the big elephant in the room, do organizations need to set aside a huge budget to get started on this e-commerce journey?
Well, I tell you, we just had one of our customers, it's a leading consumer products brand. They went live in 12 and a half, 13 weeks time with their e-commerce site. And they followed the same approach. And did they end up spending a lot of money? Not at all. And a couple of things come into play. When organizations take this approach of saying, yes, I'm not going to build something from scratch. Not everything has to be custom. Let's use an e-commerce platform like Hybris Commerce, which has got many of these features built in. And we build this whole thing using a global delivery model. Organizations do not have to spend millions of dollars that they're used to. If you look at the approach that we are talking about over here, our customers have been able to build a complete e-commerce site using our global delivery model, using our approach to prioritization in as little as $250,000. So no, we don't have to go crazy in spending millions of dollars over here.
Well, I think that's very important, not only for large organizations, everybody's cost conscious, but the small to medium-sized businesses now have the opportunity to compete with the large organizations for that
Absolutely.
customers.
That is correct. And I think our experience has told us this, that what we are talking about over here, these are not something that has not been proven. This is something that's proven, so much so here at Knack System, leveraging our capabilities, we have actually come out with 2 RDS, rapid deployment packages, both for B2B as well as a B2C scenario, wherein we offer our customers to kind of get an e-commerce solution, a Hybris e-commerce solution integrated with their backend ERP system, up and running in 90 days at a cost of $250,000. And it's not that I'm just throwing a number over here. There is a very structured approach to doing this thing. So the structured approach, number one, consists of us sitting down with our customer, sharing with them these key bundles of features that a Hybris Commerce platform. We work with some of the accelerators that are available out of the box from Hybris Commerce. We take an approach of wherein we show them some of the prototypes so that it's not a theoretical discussion. The customers from the very beginning start to get a feel of what their commerce site is going to look like, what are the capabilities that they have, other things that we spoke about, product catalog, capabilities for upsell, basic, the commerce shop, any kind of a personalization. So we show them all these things in the very beginning. Do all the configuration or customization using the best practices that the solution has to offer, as well as we as an organization bring our expertise to the table. And in a span of these 90 days, dividing this work into various phases, build up a site. And so there are two RDSs that are available, RDS being Rapid Deployment Solution for B2B and B2C, wherein a customer can get from zero to Hybris in 90 days, and they can do that within a cost of $250K.
Fantastic. So you see, the simple mantra for success in this digital era is to respect the customer's preference for researching, selecting, and transacting with brands. I think what we need to remember is to deliver a digital experience that engages the visitors and converts them into a loyal customer. It's not complex. It's not expensive. I might add, Sandeep, that customers and prospects can reach us at knacksystems.com. We also have some contact information on the screen as well. Sandeep, any closing thoughts before we leave today?
Absolutely. No more sitting back and saying Hybris Commerce or commerce site is not for me. Let's go out and let's get you all having a very professional e-commerce site and start helping you engaging with your customers. No more worries about complexity, time, and money. Let's go from zero to Hybris in 90 days.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.